So I want you to bend your front knee and sink as low as you can. At the same time, you're supporting yourself with the stick, and I want you to squeeze this back hip. Okay, so you can lean onto the stick like a crutch if you want to, or if you're a little bit more flexible, you can extend that arm out in front. And it's going to really activate this front quad. It's going to open up this back hip flexor, but just support yourself if you need to, because you get very, very tired. Okay, so hold that stretch. So again, you can press that stick out a little bit further. You can pull it in for more support, whatever you need to. If you need to walk it out further, that's fine. So hold this position. And what you're going to do is you're going to come up and down out of that stretch. So all you're doing is you're straightening the front knee and bending the front knee, warming up that body. And again, you can use it as close to the body as you want or as far away from the body as you need to. So let's just do 4 of these. Lean onto the stick, and that's what it's there for. For 3. That's it. For 2, squeeze that back butt. Activate those glutes. Last one. Hold this pose. Now, hold on to the stick. I'm going to grab on with 2 hands. You can do the exact same thing. Your back heel, I want you to drop that heel onto the floor. So your foot is now flat to the ground. And you can just lean onto that stick. So you're now opening up your groin and your adductors, your inner thighs, and you're still bending that front knee and just holding that stretch. Good. Hold it. Feel your tightest areas. Could be the groin, could be the hip, could be the glutes, anything. Just breathe. Bend that front knee a little bit further past that stick if possible. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's bring it back into center. Let's change those legs. So I'm going to put the stick on the left-hand side and then lunge forward the right leg. So this is our hip openers. You're going to bend the front knee. That's how you get down into a deeper stretch. So just bend this front leg. Let the knee pass the toes. That's fine. You're fully supported. Using that stick in your left hand, you can lean onto the stick or you can just extend it forward. Makes no odds. I just want you to support yourself into that stretch. Think about squeezing the back glute, and it's probably easier to squeeze the back glute because you're supporting yourself with the stick. So just lean into it. That's fine. Sink down and focus on opening up this back hip flexor. And then we're going to activate. We're going to just straighten a little bit and bend. Okay, nice. Now hold on to that stick for support because your legs will get very, very warm. But it's just warming up just nicely. Good. That's it. So that's it. Go down as deep as you can. And let's do 4. Nice and gentle for 3. Good. Last 2, bending that front knee. Last one. Stay here in this kind of a deep lunge position. This back heel, this is what we're going to do now, is we're going to twist so the back heel touches the floor. Now your butt will try to stick out, but I want you to pull your pelvis in underneath you and then bend your knee forward. So you're really going to feel that stretch right up to the groin on the back leg. And you can lean onto that stick a little bit further for more support. And just breathe. Feel those legs warming up. Last 4, 3, 2, someone's going to put a stick to the floor. 1, and then release. Walk your feet back together. Now let's stretch it out. Drop your stick to the floor. Straighten out those legs. That's just warming up both hips now. So straighten out those knees, hands onto your thighs, chin to your chest. Slide your hands down slowly into that stretch. Reach down as deep as you can. You're looking at those knees and you're bending the right leg. Now you don't have to touch the floor in your stretch. You can stay holding onto those thighs. Now straighten out that right leg, bend your left leg, hold the stretch, feel your tight areas. When you straighten out the legs, squeeze your butt to roll that spine back up and then bring your 2 heels together, toes out, curl down again. So hands onto your legs, chin to your chest, come down slowly into that stretch. And again, bend your right leg, keeping that left leg straight. And then straighten that right leg, bend your left leg. And as you straighten out those thighs, squeeze those thigh muscles together, roll that spine back up, and then bring your toes in, heels out, curl down, slowly hands onto your legs, slowly slide those hands down as far as you can. Bending that right leg, keeping that left knee straight. And then straighten that right leg, bend your left leg. And as you straighten out the knees, squeeze those thighs, roll that spine back up and sit down, get comfortable. Grab a cushion or a pillow for your lower back and your sticks for this one. So you need a bit of support. I'm just going to grab 2 pieces of clothing because I do not know where my little Gertie ball has gone to. So you're going to need them like a little ball underneath those lower backs. So grab your sticks, grab your little cushions, your pillows, and just kind of tuck them in against your tailbones and against your butts. All right, so this is a nice gentle one first. Okay, get comfortable. You want to be able to push your back into these little cushions and have them big enough that you're able to sit up again. All right, so get comfortable, tuck them in there. If you're using the Gertie ball, fully inflate that Gertie ball. You're just going to round down towards that Gertie ball. Feet are still on the floor and your stick is in your hands. You're just going to rub it off the front of your thighs. And then you're going to come up and try, lift up out of the pelvis. Take those arms up. So you're going to inhale, exhale, come down. Just come down and rest on the cushion. So you're still active on those tum muscles. Inhale, come up and lift yourself up out of that pelvis. Exhale, come down. Good. Come down to the cushions. Good. Let's do 2 of these. Inhale, reach those arms up, opening up the shoulder girdle. Exhale, come down and round into that cushion or the Gurdy ball. And let's do 1 more. Inhale, fill up the lungs. Exhale, come down and hold it down here on top of that cushion or Gurdy. Stay there and start to straighten those legs out and feel those two muscles. You're not arching backwards. I want you to stay rounded towards your toes. And just to check that you're in the perfect position, when you lift the leg up, you should be able to touch your knee and the bar together. Good. And do the other leg, just to check that the other leg is perfect. That's it. So you've got same length legs, right and left, as you kick those legs up. And you're fully supported. You're actually quite comfortable here on those little cushions. And we're going to do 4. This is the hard set for 3. Last, did you kick it that hard? Last one. Bet your shins off of the Come up, guys. My stomach's now hurting. Come up and reach forward. I want you to try, get your bar, if you have the flexibility, get the bar past your toes. If not, just slide the bar down as far as you can into that stretch. And just drop your heads down towards your knees. Now we're going to do a twist, but we're going to keep the cushion or the Gurdy there. So if your Gurdy keeps flipping out, just kind of let a bit of air out, stop it from moving. So sitting up nice and tall, straighten up your back muscles. I want you to imagine you're holding onto the paddle. I want you to dip the right side of the paddle into the water, as in touch the floor, and then slide back till you find the cushion or the Gurdy into your lower back area. And you just kind of twist it a little bit further. Good. Everyone's scrambling there. Come up nice and tall, reach forward, see if you can get the bar to your toes or thereabouts. Inhale, no bend in the knees, do that one. Exhale, dip the left side into the floor, and you're just going to roll back to the cushion, to the Gurdy ball. And you can go maybe a little bit further if you want, but twist, 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 and then come forward. Straighten up your back when you come forward, hinge from the hips, get the bar past your toes on that stretch. Inhale, straighten up your back, dip down the right side, and imagine pulling through the water with that paddle as you, this will be a doddle for Ashley. Do you know that now? She's like, I can do this in my sleep. Come forward. I'm probably doing this wrong, am I, Ashley? Hook past your toes, stretch out those hamstrings, and then down on the left side. I'm saying Ashley because she's on the Irish surf kayaking team, so I'm probably making a mockery of this exercise. And then come forward again, hook past your toes, stretch out those hamstrings, stretch those calf muscles. Ash, we'll do it again. Twist to the side, and again, you're just scraping that paddle off the ground as you go all the way back. Yes. Come back up, hook over the toes, and we'll do 1 more to this other side, and then we're just going to tweak it slightly. So again, dip down on the left and just roll back and just feel those two muscles. Are you pulling in or are you pushing out? Now let's go forward. Now hook onto the toes one last time. So 1 little stretch here, head's nice and low into that little stretch. And if you have it on your toes, every time you come down into this position, I want you to point your toes, curl your toes. So you're locked in this position with your elbows, and you can only go so far, but this is a really good calf opener as well. All right. So what I want you to do is now, instead of just pulling back in a straight line, I want you to circle out. So you're kind of leaning over onto that stick and go down on the right side. Now pause down on that right side, hold it there. Now let's lift the paddle up, bring it back down to the floor. Yes, come back up. And we're only going to do 4 of them because that's a little bit more intense. Now we're still using those cushions. So go further on the swing. So swing out away from the body. So you're twisting over to that left-hand side. You pause at your lowest point. You lift the paddle up, drop the paddle down, and then come forward. That's it. Stretch out those calves, curl and point. And then 1 more on each side. So down on the right, twist, go as far as you can. Twist, twist, twist. And then lift up and lower and come forward. Yes. Hook to those toes. Good. Last time on that left side. You ready? Straighten up the backs. Dip the left side in, but push it out further, further, further. And then lift the paddle. Lower the paddle. Trying to hit the radiator like I did. And then come forward. Stretch it out, drop your heads down. Now get as far forward into that stretch as you can. If you can hook your toes, fair play to you, just hook those toes. And just sit here. And if you're able to hook your toes, you're going to point and curl. If you're able to just put on your shins, that's fine. You're aiming to stretch a little bit further every single time. And remember how far you grab or how far you can roll that bar down along your shins. All right, we're going to roll like a ball to release that spine. So take your cushions out of the way. I'm going to slide mine back a bit. Bend up those knees. And just for a little challenge, now you don't have to do this one. You can tuck your toes into the bar and try roll like a ball like that. So it locks you into the length of your arms. So if you have long arms, fair play, it's easier for you. And you're going to try roll on your tailbone and come back up. Now, if you can't do that, just hold the bar in your hands and just practice rolling on your spine. We're just going to release your lumbar spine just nicely. But it's a good challenge to practice your toes hooked into the bar because you're into a tighter little ball and you can't use as much momentum to roll like a ball. That's it. Good. Do 4. Lovely for 3. That's a column. Last 2. And then last one. And now slowly drop back down. So let's open up those spines, guys. Drop your feet onto the floor. Straighten out your left leg, but keep your right knee bent. Hold on to your bar or your bands. And I want you to reach the arms up over your head. So you're trying to get, let's say, the 2 ends of the bar and 2 wrists down onto the floor. And roll that right knee across to the left-hand side. So this is a rotator stretch for your lower back. You're trying to get your knee to the floor. Now, not everyone will, that's fine. But try keep your shoulders on the ground and try actively press your knee towards the floor. So it's not stretching your hips. It's only in across that lower back, the rotators along your spine. Now, I want you to read along your back and just check where the tight area is. Is it the tailbone? Is your lower back? Is your thoracic spine? Is your shoulders? Can you keep your hands back on this floor? And then slowly bring it back into center. Come in slowly. And then slowly straighten out that right leg. Bend up that left knee and let's rotate across. Now again, try keep the bars of the hands on the floor. Now this is the side I'm caught on. So trying to get the knee to the floor is really, really tough. But we're just going to actively hold it here. As actively I'm trying to, trying to press the knee to the floor as I roll towards the ground. Just hold the stretch. Read up along your back, in across your thoracic spine, even across your neck muscles. Your neck could be super tight that you can't even get your head to the floor. And then slowly bring it back into center. So let's grab those bars, pull them over your knees and come up just a little bit here. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by keeping the knees bent. And we're going to actually, straighten the legs out. Probably a little bit easier for those hips. Straighten out those legs and go as wide as you can with the bars. Now, again, if you're not using bars, use those bands. See how far back you can roll those arms. If you have the long enough bars like me, it's grand. You can actually go all the way through the shoulder girdle and then you get to come forward. Okay. That's it. Now we're just going to see what everyone's range are. If you're sitting back here, it means these hip flexors are so locked you can't sit up nice and straight. So maybe stuff a cushion in against your tailbone, or maybe sit up on a block or even a foam roller to get you up into this position. Cross your legs if you have to, but try get the spine as straight as you can. Now, if you have a smaller bar, you don't have to get full range of the shoulder girdle. I still want you to go, say, this is a smaller bar. I still want you to go back as far as you can. Really good stretch through the chest. And that's what we will end up doing. So keep doing that. Legs straight, legs bent, whatever you want, and see how far back you can roll that bar. Good. Now, test yourself. See if you can bring the hands in a little bit closer and do the same thing. So you're going to try to roll the arms back as far as you can. Now, it's a much tougher stretching. It actually focuses more on the bicep through the chest and the shoulders. But see how far back you can roll and then come forward. And you don't have to go any further than that. There's no point. If you get stuck back there at that angle, if you can't get your shoulders back like most normal people, that's the stretch. That's your position. And then go forward. Now, I know your hips are probably dying. Let's do 2 more. So again, bend the legs up if you have to. Roll the arms back as far as you can. Feel the chest opening. Roll them down, keeping those neck muscles nice and long. Last one. Inhale to open. And then exhale, slowly articulate your spine down to the floor. So see if you can roll all the way down. Now, you're probably going to have to come off that foam roller for me, Olive. Come down slowly to the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Now, to come back up, if you can't do a roll up without any assistance, grab those cushions again, put them underneath your lower back and try do your roll up from here. So the only thing that stops you is the tightness in your back. So you're going to bring your chin to your chest. You imagine someone's holding onto this bar and you're trying to peel the vertebrae up off the mat. one at a time. So it's a full range. And then we're not going to go down with the bar towards the feet. We're going to reach the bar towards the end of the mat. And you're going to try come up out of that pelvis, okay? You're going to inhale, stack your shoulders over your hips. Exhale, come down to the spine. So it might be easy for some people to go down. This is the eccentric, the lengthening phase, to go all the way through the spine. And that's perfect. Coming back up might not happen at all. So all you do is you grab those cushions or maybe swap your bar out for those bands until you get strong enough where you're trying to peel yourself off the mat. Yes. Don't bring the hands down to your feet. Bring the hands, kind of aim actually towards where the ceiling and the wall meets, and drop your heads down if you have that shoulder flexibility. Inhale, stack the shoulders over your hips. Exhale, fold the abdominals in half. Watch the belly button when you come down. See if you can get every single vertebrae to the floor. As you peel your spine off the mat, same thing, one vertebrae at a time. Chin to your chest. Imagine peeling a piece of tape off the floor. Do your legs lift? Do you start to struggle with this bar? Actually reach the bar up to where the ceiling and the wall meets. Last two, guys. So I want you to listen to your back. So come down slowly. Again, the only thing that stops you doing a full roll up is the tightness to the lower back. So there is adaptations with the cushions, with those bands. So we're just trying to get those backs to soften. Exhale as you roll. Come up slowly. That's it. So you're hinging from the hips, reaching to where the wall and the ceiling meets, and you're opening up those shoulders. And this is the last one. So going down with control, and it takes strength to come back up. So drop one single vertebrae down onto the floor. Yes, and release. Stay here on the ground when you are finished. Now, this next stretch is for those hips. So again, if you have any problems with the knees, I know, Iris, this mightn't help one of the knees. What we're trying to do is get your toes into the bar like this. Now, you can do this with your bands, guys. If you're restricted in knees and hips, do this with the bands. If you can do it with the bar, you're going to hook your toes across the bar. You're going to separate your hands out to shoulder width and try get your head to the floor. Quite impressive if you can get your head to the floor, or you can grab that cushion, tuck it in behind your head and try pull yourself back down to the floor. So you're bringing your knee almost past your shoulders. A lot of people can't do it because the length of your arm restricts you. If you've got long arms, fair play to you, you're gonna step ahead of most people. Hold that stretch there. Now again, swap the bar out for a band if you have to. Try not to snap the band by pulling so freaking hard on it. Not calling out anyone on this one. But what I want you to do is, if you're still doing it with the bar, think about your heel bone, your calcaneus. Try press that heel bone up towards the ceiling. So you're opening up your Achilles tendon and maybe stretching out your soleus and your gastrocnemius here in the calf muscles. So you can still do it with the bands, but just think about pressing your heel up. It's a lot more effective with the bars. Good. And you're not trying to straighten the leg out. You're still trying to pull that leg down towards the floor. Yes. And then we slowly change that leg. So we lengthen out the right and we hook the left foot into the bar or the band. Now again, grab, if you find your head is not touching the floor, grab a cushion, put it behind your head, grab a little Gurdy ball, those inflatable balls. Now pull with the band. Now again, check along your pelvis, along your hips, along your back, and just feel that stretch. So a lot of people might feel it in the back of the hamstrings. That's fine. You might feel it in the adductors. You might feel it in the glutes. You might be feeling in the back of the pelvis. You'll only feel it on your shortest, tightest, weakest muscles. So right now I'm feeling across the hips. That's it. And just push the heel bone. The guys with the bar especially, push that heel bone past the bar up, or past the bar up to the ceiling, and just feel that stretch there. And that's to keep that knee bent. So pull that knee towards the floor. That's it. 4 seconds. 3, for 2, for 1, and release. Good. All right. So hug your knees in just for a second and rock from side to side. Lovely. Now we're going to do our 100 positions. So again, back to the bars. We're just going to use these as much as you want. We're going to probably get a little bit more action out of them as bars than you are as mops or sweeping brushes. So hook the bar across the back of your thighs and just hug it in there for a second. Now your objective of this one is not to touch the back of your thighs, okay? We're going to do 100 position. You're going to take your hands as wide as you can on your bar, depending on the length of it, okay? I want you to peel the head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat and try get the bar as far away from the back of your hamstrings as you can. Now curl up as high as you can. Pull the toe muscles in, curl your toes to the ceiling. It's like our 100 position. We're going to drop the right heel towards the floor, and you have to curl up away from that bar. Do not let it touch your hamstrings. So curl up, curl up, curl up, and then drop the knees back down. Pull the knees into your stomach, okay? So you're just testing how far you can go with your legs. All right, so lengthen those arms out. Take a deep breath in. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. So you're reaching the bar to the end of your mat. Now take the left foot. This is just to get you to curl up further. Bring the left leg down, but if you feel your hamstring touching that bar, you got to curl up another inch. So that's as far as you go. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and then drop back down. Now, if you're really extra brave, do it both legs. So take a deep breath in. Lift those shoulders up. Curl up, reach the bar past your hamstrings as far as you can. You can start to lower the heels. This is going to engage those tummy muscles, make it more challenging, but you also have to curl up and get that bar away from your hamstrings as far as you can. 3, 2, 1, bring it back to center. 2 more with these knees bent. You all right, Nikki? Take a deep breath in. Lift the shoulders, get those bars past your hamstrings. Maybe drop the legs down for more of a challenge, but do not touch that bar. Do not rest your thighs in that bar. Curl up away from that bar. And then bring it back to center. 1 more for good luck. Keep the shoulders away from your knees, or shoulders away from your ears. Do not let the bar touch the back of your knees. Last one, take a deep breath in. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Now again, you can lower those legs, or you can now straighten those legs if you want a bit more of a challenge. That is tougher. But again, same thing, do not rest the bar at the back of your hamstrings. I want you to extend the fingers and the bar past your hamstrings. And then when we come back in, you can pull the bar in at the back of your knees to switch off. And that's quite a nice one. Switches off the hip flexors. Okay, so let's take a deep breath in. Let's lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. Curl up as high as you can. Extend the arms past your hips. Try extend the legs. Now you can stay in tabletop. And if you definitely need more assistance, yes, you can hold the bar at the back of your hamstrings and curl up a little bit further. And then switch off, drop the knees, pull the bar into the back of your knees, heads on the floor. So let's do 2 more like this. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, as you lift the head, reach the hands away from your hamstrings, extend the legs, improvers. If you're comfortable, beginners stay in tabletop. And again, if you need assistance, guys, grab the bar and curl up. And then slowly drop back onto the floor. Last one. Are you ready? Take a deep breath in. Lift the shoulders up off the mat. Reach the bar past your hamstrings. Extend those legs. Do not touch the back of the hamstrings. Curl up another inch. If your neck gets tired, put your hands behind your head. 1 hand behind your head, but keep the bar there. That's it. Now I want everyone to bend the knees to tabletop. Bend those legs to tabletop. I want everyone to grab the bar halfway up along your hamstring. Pull the back of the bar, or back of the hamstring, I should say, and curl up towards your thighs. Feel those stomach muscles pulling down. Look at your belly button. Make sure you're keeping those stomach muscles pulled in, because you could be caught in your thoracic spine and not being able to lift up. So drop back onto the floor. Let's see if we can get that shoulders, the spine to come up off that mat. So let's take a deep breath in. We're going to use the grip on the bar. We're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Take the legs to tabletop. Now we're going to pull with the biceps, pull with your arms. Try get up as close to your thighs. But remember, you're not pulling your knees to your face. Keep those tabletop legs and try get your torso off that mat. Yes, Nikki's up super high there. Drop back onto the floor. Let's do it again. So peel from your shoulder blades up to the base of your skull. Peel that up off the mat. Take a deep breath in and lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. Now again, keep tabletop legs. Pull with those arms. Curl up, curl up, curl up as much as you can. So it's going to teach your thoracic spine to come up off the mat. Now hold that position there. So come up a little bit further from rows. And now extend those arms. Extend those arms, width, and hold it. That's your position. You're all cheating up to this point. 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop back down onto the mat. Take that bar out for a second. Just hook it across the front of your knees just to switch off those hip flexors and rock from side to side. And just relax those lower backs. Good. Now 2 arms above your head. And again, my grip is probably about shoulder width as I press the arms back. You can go wider if your shoulders are not really that flexible. This time, 2 knees together as you twist the knees over to one side. And just get those lower back muscles to open up. Pull your belly button in and do the same to the other side. And just you're testing those lower backs to see which side is tighter. Is the left side or the right side? I think it's my left side. Bring it back into center. Now, hook the bar to the front of your knee. Let's come up and over. So let's come up and over. And we're going to go into what looks like our child's pose position. And this is just a rotation stretch. This is a really, really nice one. Okay. So you're sitting down, butts to heels, and actually aim towards the bottom of your mat. So get back as far as you can and grab that bar for me. All right. I'm going to demonstrate, and then I'm going to turn towards you so you can see this one. So you're going to reach the hands out as far as you can, and you're going to put the bar, the end of the bar, on the right hand side of your mat. Okay, and you're going to hold it with your hands, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to twist that bar to the ceiling. Now I can go further. I can lift the hips up off the heels like this, and I can twist a little bit further. It's a really good stretch for that lower back. And then I can come back onto my heels every single time. Okay, so I'm going to go to the other side so you can see this. So I can twist this way. So you reach the hands far forward as you can. You bring one end of the bar to the corner of your mat and you just twist up. Now your butt comes up off your heels and you're just twisting through that movement. That's it. And then you bring it back to center, sit back onto the heels, and then do the same to the other side. So just dig the left side of the bar into the left side of your, or right side of your bar, I should say, because I'm looking at you, and twist up. And you can lift your butt off your heels. Good. And then bring it back to center. Now we're going to go a little bit further because everyone's got good range. Now you can still do this with bands, guys. So now swing across, get the left hand onto the right hand corner, right hand side of your mat, like a snooker cue. That's it. And then we lift the right side up. Now this is a lovely stretch. So pull the right arm up and pull it back as far as you can. Now this can be done with bands. That's perfect with the bands, but it's really, really effective with the bar. Now you're just twisting. And then you bring it back to center. Now you swing all the way across the other side. Right hand to left hand side of your mat. You go up onto the bar and you twist and rotate and just feel it goes right down into the spine. Opens up those chest muscles as well. You pause for a few seconds. Then you bring it back to center. You just slide your hands along the mat. Go to the outer side of the mat. Lift that bar up and twist. If anyone walks in now and sees what we're doing with the sweeping brushes, bring it back into center. Remember, next week we're on to microwaves and dishwashers. So let's do the same thing. We're going to lift that left hand up. Twist that spine as far as you can. Rotate your back muscles. Bring it back to center. Just spend a few seconds in that rotation. It's a controlled rotation. And the bar obviously holds the body weight. So you can just hang out with that bar and twist it as far back as you can. Good. Now I'm going to give you 4 more, guys. Just twisting across. And again, I know we're spending a little bit of time on the knees. So if your knees are a little bit uncomfortable, you're just going to have to grin and bear. So Iris, bear with us on this one. Last 3, go all the way across. Swinging it from side to side and just lift the bar up and my strap keeps hitting me in the face. Look up towards the ceiling. Last 2, twist across, guys, and just go up and just let your body hang out the top end of that bar. Doesn't have to be a long bar for it to be very effective. Now this is the last one. We're going to twist across, hands to the outside of the mat. Pull that bar up and stretch, stretch, stretch. Really nice stretch. Let the spine rotate. Let your body turn up towards the ceiling. You're going to cramp, Siobhan. Bring it back into center and drop the bar down. And then let's come down onto the mat. So let's lie onto our tummies. Now we're using the bar as a sliding rolling thing here. Now, if you don't have the bar, if you have, say, a carpeted floor, it is easy. You can slide your hands on the carpet floor. Just move the mat out of the way. If you're on a wooden floor, just grab your socks, put them on your hands, and you can slide really effectively, just as long as you can move your hands. But the bar, it restricts your movement here. It's quite good. I'm going to get you to take your hand grip, probably about the width of your mat, and you start with the heel of your hand on the end of your bar. So heel of your hand onto the bars. Now lock your elbows out nice and straight. Now on this one, I want you to think about pulling in from your abdominals, because I can come up super high like this, and I'm not focused on pulling in the stomach, and my back is just hanging from the erector spinae muscles. So we don't want that. I want you to think about pulling your belly button in and sliding in just so the bar touches the bottom of your fingers, just to the bottom of your fingers, and just try lift your abdominals off the mat. So pull the belly button in and draw your belly button in to lift the abdominals and squeeze those glutes, and then push the bar out. So it just comes onto the heel of your hands. Okay. Now try kind of tuck your chin in. So you're looking underneath you when you're doing this one. So take a deep breath. Inhale. As you exhale, roll the bar in and tuck your chin. Now try look underneath your abdominals and think about squeezing your butt. So you're actually rounding your thoracic spine and you're very, very active on the upper body. And then roll the bar out and release the shoulders every single time. So if your shoulders don't like this angle, take your hands wider, take your hands narrower, play with your hand position. So take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, roll the bar in, just the bottom of your fingers, and look underneath your tummy muscles. And then roll the bar out. Good. Inhale. Now, you're not going to get very big height on this one, but it's a good one. Exhale. You cannot shrug your shoulders up to your ears, which is great. It keeps the shoulder girdles active. Roll the bar out. So I want you to roll in for like 3 or 4 seconds till you can control it, and then roll it back out. Check your shoulders when you're doing this one, that it's not activating or not irritating your shoulders. So let me see who can, you're not going like a swan dive, you're not looking up, you're actually looking underneath, and you're actually tucking your pelvis underneath. You're activating your glutes and you're looking underneath you. Yes, that's it. Perfect. And you'll actually see, and I can see the shoulders pulled down away from your ears. It's really good for placing your shoulder girdles in the correct position. Good. Let me see it again. Inhale, exhale. So look underneath you. So you're trying to lift the belly button up off the ground as you look underneath you. And you just fire up your glutes. If you don't fire up your glutes, you're not at anything in this one. And then this is the last one. Take a deep breath in. And then we're going to exhale, look underneath you, hold that position. Now we're going to kind of look forward like a swan dive position. Now, again, you might feel a little bit on the low back here, so drop it a little bit if you do. But we're going to bend the elbows, tip the elbows and the forearm to the ground, but don't switch off. Tip and lift. And you're going to tip and lift. And that should be a nice warming action for those little triceps, still activating into your shoulders. And it's forcing on the muscles that pull the shoulder blades down along your ribs. It's forcing them to work. That's why it's not a nice exercise. We're going to do 4. That's it. Elbows drop, elbows lift for 3. Good. Last 2. On your last one, stay lifted, hold it. Now this is tough on the bar because the bar wants to go forward, but you still have to grip that bar. Hold it for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop everything back down. That is a tough one. Just shake out your wrists, shake out your arms. Imagine your arms kind of reaching towards your butt. So it opens up those neck muscles. Now let's take that bar and swing it around across your butt. As you're so lucky. Don't clock yourselves in the back of the head when you're swinging it around there. Now, I want you to imagine, now if you have short arms, the bar is going to stay at the tailbone. I want you to imagine trying to get those arms to lengthen and your rib cage to kind of come up a little bit off the mat, just a little bit. So the bar comes past your glutes. Now, I want you to not go for too much height. I do want you to recruit these back muscles, but I want you to imagine your bar reaching towards your butt and just recruit the back. Don't go into hyperextension. You want to put pressure on that lower back. And then let your chest drop to the ground, turn your head to the side. That's all we're doing, very simple. So you're peeling or rolling that bar down along your thighs. So take a deep breath in. Now, exhale, I find, is the easiest to keep the tummy muscles in as you try lengthen the bar down past your butt. And then release, breathe like normal. Now, it's not exhale and hold your breath. Okay, so take a deep breath in. Exhale, lengthen. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch off. Inhale. Okay. Now, exhale. 2 more for me. Exhale, lengthen. Hold in the abdominals. 3, 2, 1. Inhale as you switch off. And then the last one. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lengthen. Hold it there. Hold that position. Practice your breathing. Your abdominals should be pulled in. You should be able to breathe in through the nose, out to the mouth, and I shouldn't see you wobbling all over the place. So stay nice and steady. 4 breaths, into the nose, out to the mouth. And there's nothing really fired up here. You're still active on those back muscles. The bar is resting on your butt. 2 more breaths, into the nose, out to the mouth, and you shouldn't wobble. Stay nice and steady. And then release back down to the floor. Now, just bend your heels up towards the ceiling and rock your heels from side to side just to decompress that lower back. Now, we're going to take an overhanded grip to this bar. So this is still for this muscle group here across those back muscles. We're going to bring in the glutes as well. So take your hands, face them down towards the bar, down towards the floor. Now, we're going to still recruit the back. We're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders up like we just did. And this time we're going to press the bar into the back of the glutes and just activate those back muscles. Now, if you're strong enough, yes, you can take your feet off the floor. The whole posterior chain is active if you can take your feet off the floor and hold in your stomach and still able to breathe at the same time. And then you just release, and you can bend your elbows or do whatever you want to relax the shoulders, but you're actively trying to push that hand down to the floor. It's a weird one for the body, okay? So take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift up. Pressing at the same time, hovering the feet. Now we're going to be here long enough that you have to force yourself to inhale and then exhale a second time. Switch off, drop to the floor, okay? And I want you to actively press. We're in that position, and then just switch off when I get you to switch off. So take a deep breath in. Exhale, lift. Push the bar into the back of the glutes. Lift the legs only if you're comfortable. Learn to breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Drop all the way to the floor. So what you should be doing is called a thoracic breath through the rib cage and not through your stomach. A lot of us breathe through the stomach, and that's when we say inhale, exhale, you'll see this wobbling on the ground. Don't let that happen. Okay, so we're going to do 2 more of these. Practice your breathing. Inhale, exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders up. Arms are dead straight. Press into the back of your butt, into the back of those thighs. Lift the legs if you're comfortable. Practice breathing in. And then as you exhale, release onto the floor. Now you're going to recruit, say from ribs to butts. So that's all these muscles that we're waking up. This is the last one. Change your hands wider if you need to at any stage. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift up. Press down into the bars. Hold. Feel that activation. Now see if you can breathe in through the nose. I think I'm actually bending my bar. Out through the mouth. Oh, it's terrible. Release back down. I won't be able to sweep my floor now later. Drop the bar to the side. Yes, I've bent it slightly. And I want you to bring your heels up to the ceiling and rock from side to side. That's it. Release all that tension. All right, now push with your hands. Sit back towards your heels and stretch it out. Nice and gentle. Give it a good stretch. You're trying to sit all the way back towards the floor if possible. Good. Now take the 2 hands over to one side, stretching out those ribs and shoulders. Forehead's nice and low into that little stretch. And then do it all the way over to the other side. Reach those arms across. Nice big stretch out. And then bring it back into center. Now, I want you to sit like we did the seated exercise. You're going to sit, oh, I knelt on something there. You can sit on a block or a stack of books or onto your couch. We're going to use the bar. Now, again, if you don't want to use the bar, remember the one we did, the exact same one with the long bands? We're going to be doing this kind of shoulder stretch. You can do it with the bands, same as this, but we're also going to do it with the bars. So you can choose your choice of torture equipment, bars or bands. If your bar is not long enough, if you can't get the bar behind you, maybe swap it to the bands. My bar is just about to separate in the center there. So get yourselves comfortable. If you can sit the legs crossed, sit with the legs crossed, because when you fold forward, you open up the hips. Now, if again, as I said to anyone who does have tight hips, you can sit on a yoga block, which is brilliant. It sits the hips higher than the knees, so you should be able to cross, or even a foam roller, or if you want to do it on the couch, you can do, okay? So get yourselves comfortable. Legs crossed is preferable, but if you can do this with the hamstrings or legs out nice and straight, that's fine. So we're going to take the bar grip wide, same thing with the bands, as wide as you can. Now we're going to see how far back you can roll those arms. So see if you can roll all the way back and touch the back of your tailbone, bottom of your spine, okay? So necks are nice and long. So then we go forward, and if you have the legs crossed, you're going to hinge up out of the pelvis and come forward as if you're trying to touch the floor. So you drop the heads nice and low and try to get your hands to the ground. Try to get your forehead to the floor. Don't worry if you're not able to. So let's inhale, let's take it up. Now we're going to bring it down, and this is where my bar wants to separate because it splits in the center. Bring it down with the right hand. Now I'm going to slightly bend the elbow to get myself into this position. Send that bar as far away as you can, and then extend that bar. So lock that top elbow. Now you're not going to feel a stretch here in this bottom arm. You're feeling it through the top arm. Good. Bring it back to center. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, come forward. Let's hinge from the hips on this one first. So exhale, come forward. Now again, you can have the legs straight if you want to, or sit on a chair. You don't have to do it on the floor. Inhale, come up. Roll the arms back on the exhale. Good. That's it. Inhale, come up to the ceiling. Now we're going to go down on the left side. So I'm going to send the bar away as far as I can, and I'm going to reach, extend the arm up. Now with the bands, you're trying to pull yourself into that stretch. Keep this right hip, it looks like a magic trick. Keep that right hip on the floor as you extend that arm. That's it. And then bring it back into center. Now we're going to go forward with the hips again. So fold from the hips, come forward as far as you can. Don't worry, you can't get the heads to the ground. That's fine. Next week, we'll get down there next week. So let's do it again. Let's inhale, take the spine up. Exhale, roll back. See how far you can roll those arms back. Inhale, go up to the ceiling. Exhale, down with the right hand. And then just send that left arm out. And just reach it. It's really good because it keeps your hands in the perfect position. Inhale to center, hinge from the hips. Let's go forward. Exhale. So reach out of the pelvis, reach as far forward as you're comfortable. Check your hips are okay, your hamstrings, your knees, everything. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale, roll back. And again, if you're using the bands, let them go all the way back. Open up the shoulder girdle. That's it. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale down with the left, send that bar out, send the bands out, and you can bend this elbow. See, I'm dropping my left elbow. I'm still getting a really good stretch. Think about that right bum cheek, press it to the floor, holds, bring it back to center. So we're gonna do one more to each side. So let's go forward from the hips. My toes are cramping. So sink down as low as you can, forehead down if possible. And then you're gonna inhale, fill up those lungs. Exhale, roll back as far as you can. Try to get the band, touch the floor behind you. Inhale to the ceiling. Exhale down with the right. Send that left hand further, further, further. And think about that left hip. Sink it down to the floor. Squeeze down onto that mat. Inhale, last one. Back to center. Hinge forward on the hips. Come down to that mat. Reach the fingertips further forward. Inhale to the ceiling. Reach over your head. Exhale, take all that bad air out of your lungs. Inhale, back to the ceiling. This is the last one. Exhale, down with the left. Reach with the right hand. Now push that bar as far away as you can with the bands. Let the band pull you over into that stretch for 3, for 2, for 1, and then bring it back into center. Drop your bars, just shake out those arms, and let's roll like a ball. Now again, anyone that wants to do rollovers tonight, you can do your rollovers. Remember, rolling like a ball is this one, where you're tucking and rolling. Rolling over, you press with the palms, and I don't want you to bring your legs down towards the floor tonight. I want you to take into more activation, lift it up to a 45 degrees, and then roll back up. So it's a little bit more active on those spines because we're doing a lot of stretching. Inhale, exhale, roll, extend up if that's possible, and then roll back up. Now, if you're rolling like a ball, stay holding onto those ankles, soften out your backs as you exhale. Inhale, come back up. Now, do practice your exhaling as you roll back. I won't ask, Nikki. Oh, I can see the distraction there. So when you exhale, you're getting your ribs to move, to kind of, pull in. So that's what you want to release the tension along the spine where the ribs connect up along the vertebrae. So we're going to do 3 more. And again, if you're rolling over, use those hands just for a second. Send your legs up and away. Roll back up. Last 2. Not a chance of Paul's screen freezing tonight. I'm very impressed. Last one. I love it. Roll back down onto that mat, guys. Bring both heels in. Send your 2 knees over to one side. Press your shoulders back. Press your knuckles to the floor. Think about your spine twisting and opening as you rotate, and see if you can get your knees to the ground. Roll the knees to the other side. Test the other side. Roll the knees across. Press your shoulders back. And then bring it back into center. And let's come up. We are going to do a very special one for your calves tonight, using your one and only shticks, your big shtick. All right. This is one. I actually taught my sister how to do this one. It's actually quite interesting. You can use it on the back of your calves. Now, we won't explain what happened that night, but you get to release the back of your calves with the stick. Now, if you don't have, say, the stick, actually the foam rollers can be used, but the spikies, I'm just going to grab my spiky, you can put the spiky in the back of your calves. So this can be done with anything. But if you can, get your stick. And what you're going to do, you're going to put the stick across the back of your calves. Now, this one's really good because you got 2 calf muscles, and then you got loads of kind of digits in underneath. You've got your big fat calf muscle, your gastrocnemius, and then your soleus. You're going to use this stick and you're going to press in across your calves. You're going to lean to the right and lean to the left. I'm literally just doing this. I'm just pushing it across the back of my calves, and I'm leaning on the right and leaning to the left. Now, this is not going to be nice. This is not like going to a spa and getting a massage. You can roll that stick towards your Achilles tendon slowly, like a very skinny rolling pin, and go gentle. Now, if you're using the spikies, you can do the exact same thing. You can have both spikies in there, and you can just sit down on your 2 spikies, stick them into the back of the calves, and just press in there. It's lovely. If you can't get into the position, if you have problems with the knees, you can't do that, you can always put 1 spiky on the floor, lift yourself up, and roll up and down. There's multitude of ways to release your calf muscles, which help eventually take the pressure off your knees and your hips. So the sticks are very interesting. So you applying your body weight and work down. Now, if you're sore, that means there's a problem in that area. And that's where I want you to concentrate on. Just do tiny little movements from side to side. If you eventually get like me, you numb out, you can't feel anything. It's great. but try go right down. Again, your Achilles tendon is it's one of the thickest tendons in the bodies. It can hold a lot of pressure, and a lot of, say, heel spurs or, plantar fasciitis comes from your calves being the problem, not because you're just feeling in this area. So you got to do a lot of work to maintain your calves, to maintain your ankles and your heels. So you're just working up and down. Same with spikies, same with foam rollers. Each calf gets a little bit of work. Find your sore area, and then you come out of it. All right, so you just work them down. Do 5 minutes, not even, every single day, to keep those calves nice and less painful. Cures and bits there. When you are finished, guys, take your sticks out, take your spikies out. We're going to do the quad side for the knee and hip health and low back health. So let's do, again, if you're using the spikies, we'll do one spiky straight off the bat. You're going to do one spiky, or if you're doing the foam roller, you just have one thigh on that foam roller. Okay, are you ready? So choose your weapon. And we're going to come down onto the thigh. I'm going to use my foam roller just for curiosity, see if it's a sore. I'm picking my left leg, so my right leg is kind of chucked off to the side. All right, now you're coming down onto your elbows, and you're going to move that roller or that spiky up and down along the front of your thigh. Now we're working on the rec fem, which is the one muscle in your quad that crosses the knee and the hip. So this is the one that causes problems with the knees and problems with the hips and problems with the lower back. And all you're doing is you're rolling up and down till you find your sore area. It's not me being a vicious little git telling you to find your sore area. It's me trying to get you to find your trigger point or the problem area in your muscles, because pain is an indicator that something is not working properly. So you got to find it, hold it, and then you can just sit there, and that's usually bad enough. That's a trigger point release. Or you can do what's called the myofascial release, where you bring your heel to your butt. That is more painful because you're physically stretching the muscles away from each other, because the muscles get stuck to each other and you're separating them. Initially, it's quite sore. So go up and down, find your sore spot, play around with bringing your heel to your butt and back out. Good. And again, you can move up and down. Try maybe pull your heel to your butt and then move up and down. That's an interesting one. Lovely. Now, we're going to shift to vastus lateralis, which is actually even a worse area, I would say. Now, you're not going on to IT band, so I want you to just shift slightly to the side. Same leg, just slightly to the side. So you're not on the front of your thigh, you're just slightly off the edge of your thigh. Now, the same thing, this one, you should be able to go right up to the crook of your hip, where the TFL, your tensor fasciae lata, meets, and that's a sore area. Oh yeah, no, I found a trigger point straight off the bat. So you check, you go all the way, the length of your thigh from the side of your hip, all the way towards the side of your knee. You'll be congested in one of three main areas, obviously the side of your knee, center of that quad, or the up towards your TFL. So find your sore spot. Now, same thing, even if you're using those spikies, you pause in the sore area and you can do a myofascial release. This is so sore, I don't want to do it. But you can bring your heel to your butt, which is going to get the movement in your knees and your hips. It's going to get that mobility to your pelvis again, because it's not restricted, it's not pulled forward and anterior tilt. I know this is sore. Anyone's taking a rest there, don't stop. Up and down. Now, the best thing, if you're on your spikies, Iris, take a rest. If you're on your spikies, and actually drop your chest down, take a rest every now and then, and still do the exercise and make it look like you're working hard. But it's great. You have to be on something, Iris, to take a rest. And then, now let's move to the other leg. So you're coming up onto your hands, just give yourself a little shake out. And you do the same to the other thigh. So you're working the center quad first and then slightly off center. Okay, so we're just working 2 of the 4 quads. And we will eventually get to inner thighs as well. So we're going to do the same thing. You're going to use your elbows like a little mini plank. You're going to roll up and down to find the congestion in your quad. Find that little sore area. And again, if you find it, stay on it. You can bring your heel to your butt to do a myofascial release where you separate the adhesion out. Or you can just sit there and do absolutely nothing if you're in a world of pain. And if you're really good, try bring your heel to your butt and then roll up and down, because your muscle is flat and it's stretched. And then you're applying that pressure, that controlled pressure, which is really good for driving blood flow back into that little ischemic muscle. So go up and down. Oh, that's so sore. That's it. This only gets better with practice. Now, it could take weeks, months, years, especially if you have years of congestion in your quads. So go slow. Don't think you're going to work miracles overnight. You're going to get a lot of maintenance, a lot of pressure release. You might not fix problems, but you will definitely get more relief from it. Now let's do vastus lateralis. So again, you're staying on your elbows, but you're just kind of shimmying to the side, just a little bit, just the edge of your quad. You're not fully on IT band, which is this one. That's the last one you do when you're doing quads, if at all. Now you're going to roll up to the tops of your thigh to that TFL muscle. And that's the one that kind of turns the toes in, makes your feet look like pigeon toes. You want to keep that one nice and free as well. And that one causes a lot of low back pain. So again, up and down. Find your sore spot, then do your myofascial release and see if you can kind of get a bit more movement through those quads and thighs. Oh, that is seriously sore. I don't know why it's so bad. Worst one is bringing your heel to your butt and then trying to roll up and down. It's interesting. And again, if you're on the spikies, you can drop your chest to the floor. Oh, Lord, I'm in a world of pain here. Oh, sweet Lord. And then when you are finished, or if you had enough pain, jump off your rollers and spikies. And now let's do glutes. So let's lie back onto that mat. We'll go nice and easy. We'll lie on the floor. Get those two spikies in around the sides of your hips and your butt. So we're going to take the pressure off your hip joint. Now, again, any issues or problems, you can just keep your feet on the floor and just kind of wiggle from side to side because you're addressing the muscles that actually control the joint. If it's not too bad, take your legs to tabletop and again, massage by rocking from side to side from 45 degrees to 45 degrees. Now, if you do have pain or no pain, it all depends on, well, it all depends on what you were and were not doing. Were you doing your stretching? Were you doing your activation? Were you doing a lot of gardening, a lot of running, whatever it is? You're going to use spikies as maintenance from week to week. Good. Now, slowly drop the feet on the floor. And if you want to keep working hips and butt in that area, stay on that area. We're going to go into the lower back. Two spikies into the arch of your back, but separate them so they're not touching. So they're kind of out towards, say, the edge of your waist. So start in that position. Now, keep the feet on the floor if your back is a little bit tight tonight and you're going to wiggle from side to side. If you're not too sore, curl your knees up to your chest. Now, mine's a little bit tender and I'm going to wiggle from side to side with the feet on the floor. So when you do spikies, or if I've been doing them for absolutely years. What am I doing now? 14 years, 15 years. And I still have pain with spikies because you can do spikies all the time and have a nice, grand, no pain level. And then you go tweak a muscle and you're back to square one. The pain means that the muscle is not happy. It's not functioning properly. So you always use the spikies as maintenance to keep kind of problems at bay just for a little bit longer. Now, you're not going to fix it for life, but it's a really nice, easy, cheap maintenance for the body. Now, let's take the spikies up to the shoulders. Now, tonight, we're going to take the spikies a little bit wider. I want you to hit just on the shoulder blade itself, because when we wrap the arms across the chest, it pulls the shoulder blades apart, and that's the reason for it. So sit the spikies here at the back of your shoulders. So on the floor. Now, once your head's on the ground, oh my God. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the arms across your chest. So we're going to try hit into one of the muscles that come from your lower back all the way up, say, towards the tops of your shoulders. It's sore, but it's good for you, okay? So arms across the chest. Now, you can keep the butt on the floor, but try lift your butt up off the ground and then slowly let your head drag along the mat. Slowly roll yourself up and down, just an inch or two till you find a trigger point, okay? So this is, yes, it's your rhomboids, the muscles that pull the shoulder blades back and they get kind of weak and you get that kind of rounded slouch shoulder position. But it's also one of those erector spinae muscles that go from the spine upwards. And you could be getting low back pain from this muscle being caught at the back of your shoulders. So your spikies are wider than normal and they're trying to almost get in underneath your shoulder blade, just on the edge there. And you just pause, keep your head on the floor and just find that trigger point. Now, when you're going up and down and you found the trigger point, drop your butt on the floor and just kind of lean onto that side, whether it's the right side or the left side. If it's both sides, just go from side to side. Now, again, you can always grab a cushion, put it behind your head, grab a little gurney ball, put it behind your head to take the pressure off the front of your neck. Now we're going to work up to the upper trapezius. Again, separate muscle group. We're going to go to that shrugging muscle here at the tops of your shoulders, okay? So tuck the spikies in there. That's where all that tension lies. That's where all the pressure builds up and your shoulders get pulled up towards your ears. Now keep the heads on the floor. Take the arms to the ceiling. Lift your hips into shoulder bridge. If that is too sore, drop your hips onto the ground. Take your arms and rock them from side to side. Check which is worse, the left side or the right side. Lean onto that spiky. Check if the pressure builds up into your kind of cheeks, your eyes, across the sinus areas. Lovely. Now let's take those arms back. Keep your heads on the floor. You're going to inhale to increase the pressure. Bring your arms back. Exhale to release the pressure. So this is a pressure point release. You have to add pressure to almost release pressure. So inhale, add a little bit of pressure. Exhale to release. Inhale, one more time. Exhale, start to sink your spines down to the floor. Drop your hips, drop those arms, and just kind of shrug your shoulders to your ears. And just feel that tingling sensation run down your back as the pressure is released from that upper trapezius. Now, let's get the spiky up to your neck. So put one spiky at the back of your neck. Now, if you had a trigger point, a favorite trigger point, say in your glutes or your lower back, take that other spiky and just put it in there. I'm just going to put it on my hip. So you have the spiky in the back of your neck, and I want you to wiggle your head from side to side, and your other spiky is just nestled in there at the back of that trigger point. You're just wiggling from left to right with your heads to release the cervical spine. Nod your heads up and down. Good. With your head, draw circles. So you're just going to roll your head out and around, just getting a little bit of range back into that neck. And reverse those circles. And now let's get that single spiky roll up an inch to the base of your skull, just along the hairline. Same thing, just wiggle your heads from side to side. So you're looking over your right shoulder, looking over your left shoulder. Nod your heads up and down. With your head, draw circles out and around. And reverse those circles. Now, let's take the two spikies. I drop your heads with your two spikies in your hands. Draw circles over the sides of your head and the top of your head, releasing that bit of pressure through your scalp. Bring it down onto your temples, dropping those legs down onto the floor. Bring it down onto your cheekbones, relaxing your facial muscles. Bring it down across your jaw. Roll across your cheekbones, down across your chin, under your neck. Roll across the front and back of your neck muscles. And then down onto your chest. So you can apply a bit of pressure here as you roll across your chest. So roll from the center of your chest up to your shoulders, so increasing the blood flow outwards. Slowly bring it back up into your neck, across your jaw, across your cheekbones, over your temples, and over your forehead. So draw circles from your forehead up and across the top and sides of your head. Now let's take the spikies in your hands. Bring your hands down by your sides. Now take a deep breath in. Hold the tension in your body. Squeeze. Tense up everything. Squeeze on those spikies. As you exhale, relax your feet, legs, hips, shoulders, arms, and release those spikies.